Welcome to Aussie Beekeeping. So today is the 2nd of April. It's 16 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a fair bit of wind. There's a little bit of smoke in the air. The farmers have been doing a little bit of burning off in the background. You can smell it, you can taste it. But today, the plan is to get these hives packed down for winter. So we've got a few big ones. We've got to consider what we're going to do with those stores. We've also got some small ones. We're going to equalise our big ones into the small ones. Thanks for joining us. If you like our videos, please subscribe. Throw us a like, throw us a comment. Thanks, guys. Okay guys, so white hive. So I think this top box will probably be relatively empty. There'll probably be some honey in here. I think with these three along here, I'll probably rip the excluders out and leave them go doubles for winter, but we'll see how we go. So it looks like a little bit of comb still drawn up in here. Remember, these frames were basically empty. So it looks like they're still bringing in some nectar as well. So it looks like these are all full of honey. So I'm going to suss out the brood box now. Simply too cold to be beekeeping. That's why they're so cranky. So you look at that population again. So it looks like most of this is honey in here. So I'll suss out and see how much brood is in there. This is very, very heavy, this frame. Full of eggs. So they've got some good stores. I wish I didn't rip that honey off that frame. But anyway, sometimes these things happen. So again, really good stores. So looking at the amount of stores they've got and how the brood is actually reduced, I'm going to turn these guys into a single, I think. Plenty of bees. So I think based on the amount of bees and the fact that there's still 5 or 6, maybe even 7 frames of partial brood, I'm going to leave these as a double over winter. There'll be honey going everywhere in that frame. It was not a pretty entrance. I'll get rid of that excluder, leave them with that one box. I'm going to pinch maybe 2 or 3 frames out of that one box, but basically these guys are too big for a single. So let's get into that. I am just going to quickly take 2 of these frames. I was going to take them home, but I'll go and chuck them in that nucleus hive that needs them. More important. guys, sorry about the delay. In a scene reminiscent of the movie Martian, I've had to tape up my veil in a couple of spots. I managed to get 3 stings to the face. That wasn't fun. So anyway, I'm going to get back into these bees. So that's the white hive all done and dusted. Pulling a few frames out here and there. I've got some stacked all over the place. Got a bit of cleaning up to do. But now I'm going to get into these other 2 hives, see if I can't pack those guys down. So a bit of a time lapse for you. You don't want to see me do every single thing, so here's a quick time lapse. There we have it, guys. So white hive, green hive, orange hive and grey hive packed down for the winter season. White hive had a pretty enormous amount of brood still, 6-7 frames of brood on it, so they got another box. These guys only had 4.5 frames of brood, so they've got 1.5 honey each side of them. They'll be okay. These guys, so these are the new Italian ones, and these guys are booming still. So I've left a box on those guys. And these guys are grey hive. They haven't really done a lot. They had a box of honey on them, but their brood is quite small. So the numbers, there was really only 5 or 6 handfuls of bees in the top box. So they got a single. So there we have it. Single, double, single, double. Let's get into the other ones. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack down these 4. Obviously these 2 don't need to be packed down. I've got a couple of frames with a bit of honey on it, so I'm going to try to get them into this one and this one. We'll see how these ones are going. Pack them down if need be, get rid of their excluder. So you can see here, black hive, I've opened these guys up and I think they've got a little bit of honey surplus. I don't know where these guys are getting it from, but remember I had a box on them. I took it off last week. This is probably the honey that would have gone into that box. This frame here is going to end up to be quite ugly next year. So I'm thinking I might pull this one out and replace it with another one that I've got just over here, giving him a little bit of room. This one isn't capped. So I'll give you a close look at that. So I'll take that honey off. I've got a little bucket here that I just throw in the corner, let the bees rob it out. So I'll take this honey off, pop it in there and let them sort it out. So all right, this is going to be messy, but it's got to be done. Just lucky it's got no brood in it. Got to be careful, don't want to create a robbing situation. So I'll get these over. Sorry bees. Wow, this is a solid frame of honey. So I'll take that with me. And I'll pop that other one in. There's still got another full frame of honey right next door. So here's a neater frame. This is out of one of the other hives. I'll pop that in there. I might have a quick look at this brood. Do not want to create a robbing situation, so that's all honey. Good brood. Okay, I'm not even going to look into the rest of that. I'll just be creating issues with all that honey on top. So if we get a warm day, I might come back and have a look at these guys. But right now, they're getting packed down for winter. So I'll get rid of that box. Go and put it over here somewhere out of the way. And that way they can rob it to their heart's content. And I'll peel for the wax later on. I've just noticed in front of this grey hive there's a pretty big cluster. I'll create a little ladder for them. Hopefully the queen's not in there. I'll make a couple of little ladders. That way they can get up. So that's it for the three on the right. Obviously Black Hive had an enormous amount of honey in there, so I pulled out that ugly frame, going to take that one home and put in one that's partially filled but not capped. Those guys are right. These guys, these two actually, red and yellow, they had a pretty good population, so rather than me jamming them into one box and, you know, potential for a late swarm, I've doubled those ones up for the winter. But now I'm going to get into this one. Now this is either the pink or the purple hive. We haven't decided yet. Yeah, we're going to get in these guys and check them out and see how they're going. It's only been a couple of weeks. So it's only been 2 weeks since these guys have gone into this box. So I wouldn't expect a lot to be happening, but they have got a bit of ugly comb on the top. I don't actually have, yes I do. I've got a spare hive mat, so I'll probably chuck that on. I actually don't want to go into these guys too much, but we're just going to make sure. They've got a fair bit of weight to them. Just going to make sure they're working. Yep, there you go. So that's their last frame. The rest of the frames in here all look like they're relatively good. This one here is capped honey on this side, nectar on this side. So I'm pretty happy just to leave these guys for now. Obviously over winter I'll come down and check them out and check their hive entrance to make sure they've still got a bit of traffic. And if the traffic isn't that good, I might feed them. Not that I can do much about queenlessness or anything like that, but I'll probably feed most of these guys over winter just to be sure. This is my first winter down here. And I don't want to have any major issues come spring. All right, so purple/pink hive doing quite well. So that's those four packed down. And now we're going to have a look at the last two. So this one went into from a nuke into this 2 weeks ago. And these guys, blue hive, they've always been good, but they've got the new queen in it, the Italian queen. So let's get into it, have a look. All right, let's see how we go with these guys. I did bring down some new metal lids that I'm going to put on these hives. Rightio, so they're a bit low on stores. I can see straight away this external frame doesn't look like they've even drawn it out yet. But 2 weeks. And this other frame looks like it's drawn out and it feels like it's got a bit of nectar in it. Pollen. Smoke is nearly out. The smoke's got quite hot. So we've still got good brood. So I'm thinking this brood will probably get them into winter okay. All the bees have been a bit cranky. I forgot to wash my suit. Well, I forgot to wash my gloves as well. So that's brood, larvae, eggs. I'm going to pack these guys up. They're not overcrowded, so I can't imagine swarming's on the cards. Haven't got a lot of stores. How do they feel? Heavy. Haven't got a lot of weight in them either. So they'll probably get fed at some point. But for now, I'll put their lid back on. Probably put a hive mat on in a week. Come down here and do a quick run. Let me just go and get that other lid. So I bought down a couple of new lids. Short term they'll go on, long term I'll put some screws in them. But there you go, this is the other hive. You know, potentially the pink hive, potentially the purple hive. We'll see how we go. But now we'll get into the blue hive, pack this last one down. I'm not going to go into these guys. They obviously haven't got any room in this bottom box. They've packed that out with honey. Top one, it's a little bit light. So I'm going to pop it on, but I'm going to come back and check it. Maybe lift it in 4 weeks' time before it gets ice cold and see how they go. I'm going to put together a little bit of a swarm box. I know we won't have any swarms over winter, but you never know, if we catch a little one, it might be the thing that saves them. So I'll just put some stickies in there, a couple of drawn comb. Find the lid for it. That's basically just in case we do get a tiny swarm. They'll have somewhere to go. I've got a bit of cleaning up to do and then I'll sign off, guys. So the only job I've got left is just to clean up some of these weeds. Just to make sure these guys in the next couple of weeks aren't absolutely inundated. They've got good access. Hey guys, so thanks for supporting Aussie Beekeeping. We love making videos for you. 2022's been a pretty massive year for us. We've destroyed hives, we've burned hives, we've moved hives, and we've created 12 awesome hives. The hives are packed up ready for winter. We're 3 weeks away. We have temperatures around about 10 degrees, maybe a little bit less during the day in winter. So that's only 50 degrees, maybe 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So our hives still have a lot of action. Now next season's going to be massive for us. We've got a couple of interesting ideas. We're going to revisit the top bar hive. We're also going to build a really interesting quirky hive, but I'm going to keep that under my belt for now. Thanks for all your subscriptions, guys. Thanks for your likes and comments. We'll see you on the next one.